Accused wedding crasher.
When your old career gives you lemons, throw in some ice, mix in some vodka, and call it a podcast. From the Mac of All Trades studio in Fairport, and driven by Victor Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, it's Billified, the Bill Moran Podcast.
Well, hello and welcome. Thanks for getting your pod on. Thanks for telling a friend. That's how we spread the word about the pirate ship. One listener at a time.
Like
Come aboard.
Fungus.
Come aboard. Kevin's here tonight. Danny, I don't want to. Danny had something going on. I don't know what to say because it's not really my place to say.
You're
so
my boy, Blue.
We'll wait for Danny to come back. But I just got a text from him. And I can just say that everything's okay. Everything's okay. But I have a theory, and he was not down with my theory when I said it to him. Which other people had said to me too.
Down with the sickness, though.
Yeah, down with the sickness. So in his stead, Kevin went to the bullpen. And he wanted to impress, so he even brought wine and glasses.
No.
Look at this. She's showing off.
He's fancy.
Yeah. Laura's here, and if you remember, she's the home organizer and even decorator for Christmas.
That is what I was doing today.
Man, so when you're decorating for Christmas, how big a job is that?
Today was pretty easy. It was setting up a few Christmas trees, some outdoor
A few
lights.
Christmas trees.
Yeah.
Outdoors and everything.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But,
wow.
I mean, it's a small house. There are big ones where it takes, 2 days.
2 days to do it.
Yeah.
Do you get up on the roof and run them along the
No.
Okay. Yeah, because there are companies that do all that too.
Yeah, I'm not fully insured for that.
Gotcha.
I'll give you a guide, though.
I've seen a lot of road signs for that this year.
For people doing it?
Yeah, it's the first time I think I've really seen, I know people that do it.
Yeah.
It's the first time I've seen a lot of, advertisement for it.
It's like $2,000.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah.
And you have to buy the lights, too, don't you? Aren't they your own lights, and then they come string them for you, and then they take them down and store them?
Yeah, I had it done.
Yeah, I'm a fancy rich man. I'm in Pittsburgh, East Side.
When you lived in Pittsburgh?
No, when I lived in Webster.
Oh, sorry, the other piece of Webster,
When I
the other
lived-
piece of East Side.
When I lived in, I forget the name of the
Who
road.
comes
Off
and, who
Jewelry.
comes and wraps your balcony now with Christmas lights?
Oh.
You got a guy for that too?
No.
Danny?
Yeah, Danny comes.
He called me.
Danny called? Oh,
No,
you're
I'm
going
joking. You.
mystery guest tonight. Kevin locked up a mystery guest. He's very excited about that. So we'll see how that goes.
I love mystery guests. You cringe every time I say
I do.
mystery guest,
I
but
do.
it always works
I
out.
always worry that I just worry about the relatability factor.
I learned my lesson the one time. and
All right,
I've been good.
No, you've been great.
Shuby,
I
Slayton.
can't. You got it.
I feel like
agree.
I've been a mystery guest most of the time.
Yeah,
Kevin texted me that day.
Yeah.
Clear your schedule. I'll bring wine.
Is that what he wrote?
Yeah, practically.
Clear your schedule. I'll bring wine.
I was like, you guys
Wow.
are already getting subjected to me tomorrow. You want 2 nights in a row?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm running into some problems. I may not be able to attend, but we'll see tomorrow. But we'll see. We'll see.
Giving you every opportunity to
I
help you,
know,
and you
I know.
don't want the help.
I didn't. I had things lined up. I've got some potential people to come on tomorrow that would be great if it works out. I'm still waiting. If not, then I have a young up and coming comic who I think is going to be a big star someday. His name is Aamir Arshad. He's coming in anyway.
Funniest person in the roster, right?
Runner up this year. But
He's the young one, the 21-year-old.
21-year-old. So he's going to come in, and we'll see how that works. Maybe he and I will just go a little longer. But I had some other people, potentially big people, that would have grabbed a lot of attention. I'll just say that. Just grabbed a lot of attention. I'll tell you off. I don't want to say it.
Okay. I'm not pressing
Now,
you.
here's the other thing. A lot of people have my phone number. And I've
I've written it on bathroom walls all over town.
I have had the same phone. God, I want to say since I was early 2000s. I've had the same phone number.
I've had that number for a long time.
Same phone number. So a lot of people have it, and sometimes I won't answer the phone because they don't recognize the number, and sometimes I go, it's like phone roulette. Let's see what happens. But then there are people that just call me all the time, and today it's our friend Racing Randy called me.
Oh, dear.
And Racing Randy left me this voicemail.
Oh, dear.
Bill, it's Randy. Give me a call when you get to say. I'm sorry to tell you. I think you're going to get a big kick out. It's going to make you laugh. Bye.
Okay.
And he sent you a dick pic right after
no,
you laughed?
he did not. He did not. So I did not get a chance to call Randy. I actually had a pretty busy day. My list is over here, and most of it is crossed off. But a busy day, cranking stuff out.
I see gummy.
No gummy. So then I go over, and the phone is ringing, and I was in between. Like I was ending one thing, start another, and so I answer. So what do you think Racing Randy had to tell me that couldn't wait? That was like he was so excited to tell me this, he didn't wait for me to call him back. About an hour and 15 minutes later, he called again. What do you think it could be? Because, again, it's just a voice.
Bill, it's Randy. Give me a call when you get to say. I'm sorry to tell you. I think you're going to get a big kick out. It's going to make you laugh. Bye.
Well, I had a thought until he said it's going to make you laugh. I was going to go new grandchild potentially.
Okay. That would be
But
something
that wouldn't be funny.
No.
I
But
mean,
that's something that could be good.
Right.
That would be good. No.
What NASCAR guy is changing teams?
You're not far off. You are not far off. Racing Randy called me to tell me this hot news. He wanted to tell me Kevin Harvick and his wife, Kevin Harvick, who is a NASCAR driver,
Retiring, isn't he?
is retiring. He's 42.
Oh, I know this. I know what it is.
Yeah. What is it?
They bought the house that Ricky Bobby was in Talladega Nights.
He called to tell me
$7.2 million.
I don't give a fuck. He called me twice to tell me that Kevin Harvick and his wife bought their mansion in Talladega Nights.
Are they changing the kids' names to Walker and Texas Ranger?
I have no idea. And he was also proud to report this. His wife was the one who told him that news. She keeps him on top of stuff, buddy. I'm a lucky man.
$7.2 million for the Ricky Bobby house.
Okay.
How
all right.
fucking crazy is that?
I agree. I didn't know the price. I will agree with that. But if you got it, you can't take it with you.
Right.
So why not? But the other thing was that required 2 phone calls. Do you understand what I'm saying? Laura, 2 phone calls?
Yeah.
2 phone calls.
I didn't give
It's
you.
celebrity gossip.
I didn't call you at all today, and that's unlike us.
And then he, but
I didn't have Ricky Bobby news.
Well,
either.
and I'm busting Randy's balls.
Oh, I know.
But it's kind of funny. But sometimes, like, if someone calls me and I don't answer and I haven't listened to the voicemail and I know it's there, and actually I went through and I realized, thanks to Randy, my voicemail was 100% full with that last Racing Randy message. But then I found other Racing Randy messages.
Who still leaves a voicemail message?
I do from time to time.
I
will on business stuff. I do. Do you just text business stuff?
I text on my phone nonstop for business, and it's horrible. But that's how I talk to my clients.
Yeah, but
They
I would
rarely
rather
even leave
talk text.
voicemails.
I'd rather talk text.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's too much to type.
I have a voicemail.
Oh, I
saved from
agree
you.
with that.
You do?
I do.
All right. Well, listen to this. Is Randy. This is one of the ones Randy left me back in October.
Hey, Bill, it's Randy. You should give Justin Harris a call. Find out if he's going down to the World Finals in Charlotte, the big dirt track race down there. It's this weekend coming up. It starts Wednesday, I believe. It goes through Sunday or Saturday. You want to give him a call. I don't know if he's going or not. I haven't talked to him in a while. But might want to call him to check it out. Get him on the podcast, buddy. See ya. Bye.
All right. Now, Justin Harris is a client, Phelps Cement Products. They do a great job if you're looking for fireplace inserts or you have a wood-burning stove or you have anything like that. That's the place you need to go. 15 minutes after leaving that voicemail, Randy calls back and leaves this one.
Hey, Bill, it's Randy. Don't bother calling Justin. He's not going down to Charlotte for the World Finals, buddy. I just talked to him. They're not going to go.
These are texts.
Real busy at work.
These are
And, one guy that drives his truck and trailer is busy at work hauling blocks, so kind of hard for them to get away. So they said they'll go next year. All right, buddy. Talk to you later, man. Yeah. Go Blaney.
I have 6 voicemails from you in my phone.
You do?
I do.
Okay.
I had one from a while back where you roasted me for my 40th birthday.
Oh, I did.
I don't know
What
if
did I
How
say?
long ago was that?
Shut up.
How long ago was it? 6 years ago?
Yeah.
Aw.
I don't know what I did with it. You were funny.
Why are you hoarding voicemails?
Easy killer.
So what is the other voicemail I left you? Anything bad?
I know one was something about a concert you got me into, and I think the rest were just, I don't know, probably callbacks.
All right.
I just don't listen to voicemail.
No.
My phone reads the voicemail to me,
Yeah.
so I can read it.
Yeah.
And if it's something important,
Then-
I'll call them back.
Okay.
But like when I got my glasses,
I leave voicemails all the time.
I know you do. I have
do.
6 of them.
Really?
Yeah, I just because it's easier. If I'm in the car, that's where I make most of my phone calls. I'm in the truck, I'll just say to my device, "Hey, call."
Give me a call.
Call
when you get
Kevin.
back. I got a bunch of shit. Let's see what else have you said.
But why don't you delete your voicemails then, Kevin?
I don't either. When they come
You
into me,
don't?
no. A lot of times I don't
But then
even
they
listen
get
to them.
full.
Yeah, they do. But a lot of times I don't
That's
listen
the
to
whole
them.
point.
But see, this is the organizer in you. It gets annoying.
Yes.
Yeah, you can't handle that. It'd be too much.
All my voicemails are from my mom. She's the only one who leaves me voicemails. So, and they're always
She
just
ever
like,
talk
"Hey,
too
Laura,
long?
call me."
Oh, she,
Like,
my
it's pointless.
my mother will call and talk to the voicemail like she's talking to you. So you'll get a big, long message, and then at the end, sometimes she gets cut off, and she'll call back and go, "I don't know what happened. Voicemail cut me off," and then continue on
And keeps going.
and keep going. She did it all the time. She used
Having
to
a
fill-
conversation with herself.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have one from you from 2016 in here.
2016.
2016.
Okay. Yeah.
You'd gotten me and Sam backstage at a
At
show.
Collective Soul.
Goo Goo Dolls.
Goo Goo Dolls.
Well,
Goo Goo
Collective
Dolls?
Soul played with them,
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, I do remember that. The Clyde Savannah situation where these kids, all right, all these kids are in court. Here's what's going to happen because they're one lawyer, I think each of the 4 kids have different
Lawyers.
attorneys, defense attorneys. So this guy, Michael Sciano, has been speaking on behalf of one. None of those kids are back in school. I don't think any of those kids will be back in school at all.
No.
Usually what happens is if they go to what's called a superintendent's hearing. I don't know that this is going to happen, but I'm pretty sure it's usually the standard practice in public school. When the principal decides that whatever happened is beyond his scope of being able to punish it, and the most he can give out is 5 days out of school suspension, they'll go to this hearing, and it's usually it's parents, student body. They bring up witnesses. It's like a whole court proceeding. And from what I understand, nobody who ever goes to that as a defendant wins. So I don't know what they do with these kids because in New York State, in America, you're entitled to an education. So I don't know what happens to these guys.
Probably a homeschool, not a homeschool situation, but an out of school.
Well, they usually
Yeah.
sometimes they have an alternative learning center or something, but that would suck. You know.
Well, one of the lawyers said that it admitted there was video, but the video is very much open to interpretation.
That's what he says.
Which is,
yeah, just like the kid's
they fucking
asshole
did it.
was too.
Isn't
That's,
oh Jesus Christ.
you know what I mean? I mean, it's
Isn't there's 3 kids that are on trial for actually the
4.
sex. Oh, okay.
There's
I
4.
thought it was 3 for the abuse and
Oh,
1
maybe.
for the filming of it.
Oh, that could be.
So I don't know if
But they say
that would
that
be
there's
different.
multiple camera angles, so that would be weird that only one kid gets in trouble for filming.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know.
because he said
It's a messy
Sciano notes
situation.
there are multiple videos of an incident. He doesn't say the incident.
Yeah, you can't just charge one with taping it. You know,
Yeah.
if there's 6
I
kids
gotta
taping
think
it,
there's-
you got to feel like there's more kids that might fall on this.
I think the youngest one being charged is 15.
Yeah.
I heard 14. I thought,
Yeah.
Okay, I saw 15.
or maybe
I saw
the kid, or maybe the
15
kid, or maybe
216.
the kid was 14.
I could
He
not
was.
see them going back to
That's
school.
Tyler's age. I mean,
Yeah.
that kid that got it was Tyler's age.
What was the? Because look, guys in locker rooms, right? There was all kinds of shit. I told you we taped the
God,
kid to the
we-
bench and farted in his face, and we did all that stuff. And I used
Peeing
to
on
do
people in showers.
yes, and we did
all
all that. But and then wedgies and things. But what about girls? I mean, girls. You would hear, from what I understand, and parents who have middle-aged school girls would say sometimes they are the meanest. Mean Girls was all about being mean.
It's all
Yeah.
laundry
But
and
it was-
pillow fights. Come on. I've seen porn.
But not at 13.
There's not porn going on in
Not at
girls' locker
13.
rooms.
No, but I mean, was there any kind of physical stuff? No, probably
I
not.
wouldn't say physical, but there is bullying going on.
Cattiness.
And I mean, I was a soccer player. I feel like the worst things that people would do would be to grab girls' clothes. And like we would sprinkle them through the hallway so that they had to go run out. But also my practices,
you would take the girls' clothes and go out of the locker room and sprinkle them down the hall?
Yeah.
And she'd have to go get her underwear and everything?
Yeah.
We would do that, but it would be after we put them in the shower and then send them down the hall.
I would be practicing at like 6 a.m. though for soccer. We would have morning. So this would be before there are kids into school. You know.
Who was practicing at 6 a.m.? What school was that? Wayne Central?
Yeah.
Oy.
I played a lot of
You get off the farm, then you go play soccer.
I guess so.
Yeah, we would have morning practice.
Milk the goats, milk the bull, and then go play some soccer.
But I don't think there was ever any physical, but there's definitely like the bullying of the body. And I mean, I have teenage nieces and I hear about it all the time now.
Girls are catty as shit.
Yeah, they're horrible.
Yeah, but it's more mental.
Yes.
It sounds like it's more of a cerebral, very diabolical, nasty thing.
Yeah.
Where these guys are just like, hey, bend over.
But nowadays,
it's cattiness for girls, but guys, it's just busting balls in the locker room.
Yeah, and nowadays with the social media, like we didn't have to do that. There was no videotaping of like, you know, one of the soccer players having to run down the hall, grabbing their clothes. Now it's the bullying that goes on even after an incident, like Instagram and
it doesn't stop at school.
Snapchat. No, it doesn't stop.
And you would know if you were that age when you were getting videotaped because you had that big thing on your freaking shoulder. Big old VHS cassette recorder.
There was no taping or anything.
No.
God, it would have been awful.
We didn't even have cell phones.
If I had but see, I would have made myself the star of my own videos. I would have taped everything I did and put it out there. I would basically told on myself of all the shit I did, but I never got in trouble. They all knew what I was doing.
If you could go back in time, like hot tub time machine, go back to when you were that age now with all the stuff that you've got now.
Yeah.
How different would your world be back at that point? You'd be, like you said, you'd be videotaping everything.
Well, I wonder if I would, because I don't know how my parents would be. They may not. They may be all over me on you got to be careful, you got to this, because they were teachers, so they knew, but they also had their heads in the sand most of the time for what the shit I did. Like,
they weren't at your school though.
No.
But kids are so
still help?
sneaky.
Yeah.
With their Finstagrams.
What's Finstagram?
You don't know Finstagram?
I know.
All right. So I have a lot of teenage nieces and nephews. There's the Instagram that like they're friends with me on, like Aunt Lola. And then they have, but that's their Finstagram.
Okay.
Their real Instagram. They're not friends with me. And that's all their like slutty pictures and everything.
Has anybody found it?
Oh, I found one of my nieces.
You did?
Yeah.
How slutty were the pictures?
Oh, God, it was
bad, right? I mean, it's one of those that makes you uncomfortable.
It's embarrassing. I sent it to my mom and my sister. I was like, damn, look at her. She looks bad.
This is the mother of the daughter or a different sister?
A different sister.
You didn't go to the mother of the kid? Nope. Why wouldn't you go to the mother of the kid?
Because I think she knows it exists and she just doesn't want to.
You can't be the cool id if you're
but you can be. You would just send it and go, listen, I'm just concerned about... I would probably say something. Like if I saw, my nieces are 11. Right?
Okay,
They're
so
both
mine
11.
are 17.
Yeah. 17 is way different.
We ran into my 22-year-old niece out on Halloween, and I was like, oh, my God, this is way too awkward. She's not in a lot of clothing.
It was when we were at the bar when I was working the door.
All right, so wait. So her niece showed up. What was she wearing as a costume? Hang on, do not answer that.
I was going to say, do you remember?
I was way past remembering.
Man!
I was way past remembering at that point.
All right. It's possible. It is possible.
It was very possible.
She was a G.I. Joe.
G.I. Joe?
Mm-hmm.
In what kind of outfit?
I mean, scantily clad army with her ass hanging out.
Oh, yeah. Well, that happens sometimes when you're crawling through the jungle. You lose your pants. Shit happens. No, seriously. I mean,
I'm in my blue onesie.
I don't remember how I missed all this.
Well, see, I'm surprised. Because
you didn't.
See, here's the thing is sometimes like you can't help it. Like I have a thing in Wegmans. Like yoga pants are a gift and a curse, right? Or whatever, leggings. Because sometimes somebody who's got a nice rear end, whatever. You can't help but notice it if they're bending over in front of you or they're walking and it's sticking out bubble butt. But the ones that I can't stop looking at are the bad ones. I mean, the one that looks like she's got she just filled her ass with pennies and it's all dimpled and all that. Like it's just loaded up. I can't help it. I can't stop staring at it.
So how
Sometimes
do you feel when it's the belly out over the clothes?
Oh, muffin top?
Well, no, I think there are thick women out there who walk around in crop tops and just letting it all hang out.
Look, at this point in my life, I don't care. Whatever gets you through the day. I would say that sometimes, and this will get me in a lot of trouble with people, but we're not doing anybody any favors by, if we're talking about living long and being healthy and not having a tax on the health system and all this stuff, then maybe we shouldn't say to people, your body's beautiful. Go ahead and devour another family-sized bag of Lay's. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like sometimes the message is counterintuitive to the overall well-being of the person. Now, we can say from a mental health perspective, as you said, girls pick on each other and their body shame and do all that. That's not a good thing, and we shouldn't encourage that. That's why most of the time I keep my mouth shut on this. But I also think that maybe in life, a little bit of shame goes a long way. Just a little bit.
No. So
I don't want to be in, like, I wouldn't walk out in my pajamas. I would rather not do that. I even sometimes am embarrassed the way I oh, somebody subscribed to the YouTube channel.
Where's the line between big and beautiful and mooing at her?
Well,
Oh, God, Kevin.
that's not, you gotta be, because I did.
I know you did.
You mooed at someone?
In high school, there was a girl that asked me, her friends came up to me and gave me like a list of people who would I go to the prom with. I was in 10th grade. They were juniors. And I knew who they had, and we called her Lori was her name, Cal, and then her last name. And then somebody, Sal, I forget Sal's name. Sal, no, it doesn't matter. But anyway, he was taking a photography class, and he basically photoshopped in 1988 her face over the picture of a cow.
Oh, God.
And then I hung it in the main office.
Okay, you were young and immature.
It was
high
awful.
school.
It was mean. But again, mean. I'll tell you what. There was something, though, that really struck me, and I was even younger, that I think this was more like, I don't want to say peer pressure, but peer pressure, that you were a part of that. But there was a girl, her name was, again, it doesn't matter. No one knows these people. But they did your body metrics in gym class, where they would pinch your, right? They would determine your body fat, and they did all this. And we had a gym teacher, and I lived in New York State, and he was from Texas. And he was bow-legged, and he was your stereotypical, right out of National Lampoon gym teacher. That was him. And his name was Mr. Stevenson. And he used to go, hey, boys, come on now, stop playing grab ass and let's go. You know, that kind of shit. That was his cadence and his speech. They had people lining up, boys and girls. You had to get up on the scale. He would yell the person's weight out. He would yell the person's weight out, and this other woman who was a gym teacher would write it down. Okay? So here comes this girl, and her family owned the ice cream shop in town.
Of course they did.
And she wasn't that heavy. She wasn't. She would be what you call, even then, voluptuous. She was just curvy, but she was soft, big, didn't play sports, all this. And he yelled out her weight, and I'll never forget it. She was 158 pounds. I had to be in like 9th or 10th grade, maybe even 8th. And this other shit happened when I was a sophomore, so about the same age. I saw that girl go sit in the stands then and crumble. Started crying.
Imagine.
And I remember feeling so bad. And I always thought, what a fucking dick move. Because he had daughters. He had a wife. He had been around kids for a long time. What a fucking prick.
Yeah, that's mortifying.
Now,
and that's going to stay with you.
Today, as an old man, I can really say that. But at the time, as a kid, I remember feeling so bad for her. And at first, I didn't get it. And then when I heard the weight, and I had to be maybe 8th grade, because I think I was 130-something pounds, and she was 158 pounds. I remember the number. It seared. It was branded into my brain.
Why do you got to use branded?
Because it was just seared in there. It was just seared in there. Bring up Time Traveler again at some point, because we'll take a moment here and we'll get to our mystery guest.
All right.
But there's somebody on TikTok claiming to be a time traveler and has all these predictions for 2024.
All right.
But it's not their voice. It's
Bet
just
our money.
What's that?
Bet our money.
I don't know. These are all disastrous things that they're saying here. You're gonna have. Yeah, I know. You may want to take
That's
the
why
bet
you
in
gotta
Vegas.
live life, you know.
Yep. We will one moment at a time. We will get to the mystery guest that Kevin has booked. Kevin says he's 70-30 on my like or dislike of this. 70 in favor, 30
70 in favor.
All right, we will get to the mystery guest next. But first.
Voicemail anytime on the Victor Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram line at 585-206-8866. And be sure to like and subscribe to Billified wherever you get your podcast.
And follow us on YouTube at Billified. We should be live there now, live on Facebook at Bill Moran. I think it's actually Bill Moran on Facebook. I'm going to have to change that.
There's a random billboard down on 490 we're on probably.
Yeah. Who knows? Kevin has been booking mystery guests. So this is somebody who I worked with in the past?
You have, yes.
I worked with this person.
Before my time and also after my time.
Before and after I worked with this person.
Me. But you've worked with them
so
multiple times.
I've worked with this person multiple times.
Yes.
Male or female?
It's a male.
Sales or programming?
Not programming.
Not programming.
Talent.
They were on air?
On-air talent.
On-air talent, and I worked with them before and after?
Yes.
You?
Yes.
Did I work with them during you?
No.
This is 20 questions.
Why? That's what I got to ask all these questions.
It's the game.
So, okay. So somebody that was on air early on, is it Mark Cronin?
It is not Mark Cronin.
Okay, well, he would have been there while you were there.
Yeah.
So then, were they on the same station as me or a different station?
Same station as you.
Same station as
until you left. And then they were on the same station with you a second time.
I have no idea who it is.
Mystery guest. Want to say hi?
Hey, man, what's up? How you doing?
I'm completely lost. I know this person's not disguising. I know they're disguising their voice.
He's not disguising his voice.
No, sadly enough, this is my real voice.
Well, it's not sad. They were on the same station as me?
Yes.
Yeah.
I have no.
He was on the last time he was on right after you.
Yeah.
He did middays?
He did afternoons.
Oh, afternoons. Oh, just now.
Just now. Before that last train wreck that station had.
Pat McMahon? No.
Close. On that show.
I don't know who that is. On that show.
Oh, wait, is this Earl? It's Earl. Oh, Earl, I didn't recognize your voice.
That's the Nick going, oh, man. That's the Nick going, well, what threw you off is when he said that train wreck. I think I was pretty much a train wreck, too, so that got kind of funky after those years.
Earl, you know what? So, Earl's coming to town. He's going to be at the Comedy Club.
He's the mystery guy.
Yes, right after Thanksgiving, right?
Yeah, Friday. Usually I come there every year, Friday and Saturday.
I know. I wanted to be here, but I think I'm out of town. My whole family's
really weird
together.
Because I know you're always out of town that weekend, so I know I had a feeling that you weren't going to be there. But yeah, everyone come out. We have a great time every time I'm there. It's like I come there once a year. A lot of people like to go there a bunch of times, and I'm not going to say I have my fill of Rochester, but I think Rochester might have had my fill of me, and I think the only way they're going to accept me is comedically. So I'm coming in to tell some jokes as always. Always have a killer show. You worked with me before. You know how it works out.
It's
going to be good.
Show.
So
it's a great show.
Yeah, so I'm not worried about it. Yeah, no. I'm not worried about it. How you doing? First of all, let me tell you this, man. Okay. I'll tell you, when you left the station,
yes,
okay, and then all of a sudden you started the Billified thing, and then I couldn't believe how fast it just grew. I mean, you had the name, you had the branding, then you had the and the place to have it at and everything, man. You just took off. I mean, you took what talent you had and were just like, well, I'm not going to let anyone else, put my fire out. I'm just going to go ahead and and deal with it. I don't know if we get into what happened with you or not, but you know, when I found out on the road, I was kind of like, boy, this is kind of weird, you know. You know, it's a horrible. First of all, radio's a horrible business. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, even after I left Rochester, every time they bounced me out of Rochester, I go home. It was that Friday. I was broadcasting from the house, and then the program director, I can't remember what it was at that point, says, "Hey, listen,
Joe Bonadonna, I think."
Yeah, no. It was after Joe. Who's the guy after Joe?
Zach? Zach.
He says, call me after the show. So I knew this was screwed up. I knew I was done. He called me after the show. It's a Friday, you know. Yeah. You know, and then he called me, and Bob was on the phone too. And then they told me, and then I was probably disappointed for about a total of 3 minutes. And then I went out and I went out and I did the gig, and then, you know, I did the gig, and actually looking back on it, I think there wasn't any chance. I think I was just kind of like a filler until they figured out what they did, and that's fine. I know the business. I know how it is. That Friday, I'm like, okay. That Sunday, I get a call from a radio station in Tampa that wants me to come down and do morning. Yeah. So since I've left there, I've had 3 radio station offers that go, I'm done. I've had it. You know, I just like the freedom of what I'm doing now and having a great time and go around and performing. And I probably should have left radio a little earlier, because in the last 5 years that I did it was when I passed up on a lot of things comedically. And so now I'm playing catch up, basically.
Well, that's great. I always think too, you know, as a comedian, one of the reasons you become a comedian is you get to say whatever you want. Right.
Yeah.
And you control the message, and you control everything. And I have to say, your message is positive. When we did the comedy together, you got a positive show and a lot of energy, and it's a lot of fun, and you take people on a ride, and I love that.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, it's like, I don't even know what I do. I never do the same show twice. I'm getting ready to film something at a theater on Friday, awesome. and I'm at the point now where it's like, guess what? You know what? It's the one thing where I get to be myself. I don't worry about people are like, well, you can't say what you said before. I say what I've always said, because I never went out being malicious to begin with.
Right.
So at this point, if I'm doing what I'm doing in this day and age, some of that triggers you off. That's something you got to work out with, because I can't, you know, I'm not going to get up there and change everything. And, you know, because listen, I'm old. People don't know how old I am, but I'm old. And I'm telling you what, I mean, I'm old enough to remember. Well, listen, but you can sure bend the crap out of it. I can tell you that much now. It don't crack, but I swear to God, it's freaking flexible. I got to tell you, man. And you know, it's funny. It's funny too, because like, it just made me think about the other day, because I was, you know, I remember when I was like, even growing up my whole life, I never thought I was the fastest, the smartest, the best looking, and not even the funniest. But I knew my whole life, if nothing else failed, I knew that without any practice, I could pick out a man from a woman. Okay, and now I can't do that anymore. Now I'm done. I'm done. That was the only thing I had going for me. I go, well, at least I know who I'm talking to. But now I don't know anymore. You know, it's just weird. And so I'm at the point now where it's like, I'm just going to perform and be me. And everybody that's upset about what they need to be upset about, that's fine. Like, you know, it's like, you can't confuse being disagreement with being phobic. You know what I mean? Well, and that's the problem that's going on with it. So
it is a problem. You know, it's funny, because I always thought you were one of the more disciplined people I have ever met. You were a bodybuilder. Mm-hmm. You did body shows. You had the dogs that were in the Frisbee shows. You really, you did things, like real things. There are guys who are comics on the road, man. I mean, they had travel days. That meant they could eat anything they wanted. There were a couple of guys who used to eat lard brownies. They would actually take fat lard and make brownies.
Those are the ones that are also in the donkey show.
Those guys are dead. Those guys are dead. But I'm just saying, like, Earl had opportunities with TV and stuff. But I will say, if you don't mind, I'd like to give my assessment on your last radio gig, which was here in town.
And you know what? And I actually would love you to do that.
All right.
Absolutely.
So I always thought you were utilized incorrectly. I go, that guy is funny. He's funny off the cuff. He's funny, that you just needed somebody to bring something up, and then Earl could just run. But instead, they had this whole thing where Earl's trying to bring him in. He's with 2 people he's never met in his life. So now you got to do
you know,
And I'm not saying anything bad about them, but there is something about knowing the person, Earl, for a little while. Granted, every show evolves and you get there, but man, it was like they wanted you to be running at 100 miles an hour
out of the gate,
right away. You know, and I go that's unfair. And I felt like you got a racehorse here, and you're putting a bridle on it, and you're not using it correctly.
And you're right. I agree. And here's the thing that got me about the whole thing is like, you know, in the time that I came back there, I was a little heartbroken to begin with because Rochester wasn't the Rochester that I remember.
Yeah.
Okay, I remember back in the day when we were there, you know, with Weeze and stuff, and everything's great, and everybody got along, and didn't matter where you're from, it was just cool. We all were happy. We were all making money. We all got laid. It was just one of these things.
Cocaine in the studio.
Seriously, we were doing. And listen, and I got to tell you, this is how funky it was back then. I got laid as a 250-pound guy. I wasn't even in shape back then.
Earl was a heavy guy. Yeah.
I never even met anybody. But now I came back.
Bull got laid too, so I mean that's not saying much.
Well, that's true too. Yeah, you know. But it was funny because I came back, and then it was like everything was like political. It was black and white, and then my show started to do that, and because it made it look really bad, and what made it look really strange was the fact that I came in and replaced the other two, and I was a black dude doing it.
Yeah.
So from the outside looking in, they're going, oh, they're bringing in a black guy because of that. And in reality, I just kept thinking, well, they're bringing in Earl because I used to be there.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
And so the circumstance was funky. I was funky. It never got to be a funny show. It was always me sitting there asking, you know, answering stupid questions like, you know, well, how come I can't say the N-word and things like that, you know, and just, you know, I mean, stupid questions that are 900 years old. You know, we were talking one time, and I said, well, Megan was saying something like that. Well, you know, in my world, I would probably just go blah, 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 blah. You know,
right.
Now, when you say that, that means, well, in what you do and the way you live, that's how you would do something. But someone calls up and goes, well, what do you mean in your world? What world do you come from? You're not coming from a hood or anything like that. You're coming from middle, and that has nothing to do with meaning that. And then I was like, well, okay, once we got to that point, it was just like people were just stupid, and they were looking for reasons to just be upset.
Yes.
You know, I don't hold it against Rochester. I like working with Mark. Megan's in Buffalo doing her thing now, who, by the way, looks freaking phenomenal. I don't know if you've seen her lately.
No, I
Holy
haven't.
crap. She looks phenomenal. She looks like a freaking model. I don't know what she did, but she looks fantastic. And she looks, I mean, she looks.
She got out of Rochester radio.
Rochester 6, Buffalo 10. I don't know what the difference is there.
Yeah, you know, and it's just really weird because, you know, so when I look back on that experience, and it's actually going into maybe 3 years that I've been gone because that time has just flown by so fast.
Yeah.
You know, that I've been out of there. And since then, I've been back to perform, and people still come out to the show, which is all I've ever really wanted to do. I mean, and I was like, you know, I was like, as a matter of fact, radio, in a sense, kind of hindered me comedically in the beginning because when I was doing the station in Harrisburg, they were like, I'd come out and I have a killer show, and people would come up to me and they go, hey man, you know, you should just do this forever and not, and you know, you should be a comedian. And they don't understand I was a comedian long before I was a radio guy.
Right. Radio
has changed over the years. Back in the day, when they bring you in, when they bring me in, no radio experience, no nothing. At this point, I could run a board, all this other stuff, because I had to learn that stuff to be viable. But back in the day, they would have three people: the lead guy, the impolitically correct called news girl, okay, and then the funny guy.
Right.
And if you were on from 5 to 9, the funny guy just had to be there from 9 o'clock. He's gone. He was just gone. I didn't have to cut commercials, voice anything, or any of that kind of crap. No. And so that's changed, and that progressed into, you know, everyone having to be able to do more because these radio stations were all, you know, cutting back.
Well, they were cutting back,
they did.
And then social media took off, and so you needed that stuff. And, you know, you'll see even now, I think the radio stations kind of do, I think it's new for them. I don't know for certain, but the cameras and things where they're switching cameras and doing like we do here in the podcast. All
they're trying to adapt to that podcast world.
All that stuff is important, and I think, you know, but you're right, it becomes like an added thing, you know. And so I almost, in a way, Earl, for me, the way things turned out, you know, because I was there doing morning stuff, then the show with John. And then I was doing.
You were doing a lot.
I was doing all those national radio shows, so my day would be really long. Like there were times I would get there at about 4:30 in the morning, and I wouldn't leave until, I don't know, 6 o'clock at night sometimes. Then they eventually set it up so I could do the national stuff from my house. So I would I would go home, but you're still working. And I go, when I made this move and bought all this stuff and decided, fuck it, I'll do it myself, which is I think I'm going to put on a T-shirt and sell on Etsy. Fuck it, I'll do it myself. It's been a year of really long days, and sometimes you're sweating it out and trying to make it work. And the one thing I kept hearing from people was, no one's been able to make it work. I've had a mutual friend of yours and mine, another comedian who went into radio, say to me, I thought this was a mountain too high to scale. And there were moments. I mean, I'll admit that I was, ready to take the bridge. But all in all, it's worked out. And you know what? If you got to, like you got to love what you do. I think you.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. And I think it's better for you to be out of radio because, in a way, you're putting a bridle on somebody who just. I mean, you got a Robin Williams, and I don't like to compare people like that because that seems unfair, but you've got that natural ability. Like, you could just riff for 20 minutes without a breath.
He did it. Your Billified stock. He went off on a couple people in the crowd. It was great.
Yeah.
Are you doing any stand-up? Are you doing anything?
I just went out and did a
Saturday.
I just went out and did a dinner.
He just went down and took down the third tower.
So I got asked. I got invited to do. Some guy said, "Hey, would you come out and just sort of MC some stuff because you can rip on everybody. We're no political correctness, no anything." So I went a little too far, and I pissed one guy off really bad in the crowd, and it sucked the air out of the room. So the answer is yes, but no.
Yes. Well, it's funny. It's always that one guy that can do it. I did a corporate thing one time, and I was going off doing what I normally do. And this guy was there, and he was sitting there, and the corporate gig really went really well. But the guy was like, "So you're just going to sit here and make fun of me?" Is that what he was saying? Which is really weird because I was like, well, I really don't make fun of people as much as you give me something and I work off of it. Okay. And then I have to make it funny. If you tell me whatever it is and I make fun of it, it's not making fun of you. It's making fun of what you've told me.
Right.
And people don't understand that. So, and then afterwards, this girl comes to me that I knew, and she's like, well, that guy was there, and he was at this Christmas party. There's about 300 people there. And, his son is really sick and he's going through some things and everything else like that. And then I was like, and I thought about it and I was like, well, and I don't know how he was going to take this. I was like, wow, that's really bad that your son is going through that. But I get that, but that's something that you can't come out and piss on other people about, like I don't know anything about that.
Right.
So you're going to come up here and you're just going to be an asshole. Did I say asshole? I guess I did.
You can.
You can be an asshole because you can be an asshole because you're having this, and I get that. But for me, if anything, if I'm having a problem or something like that, I don't share that with anybody. And if anything, I'm staying home. Because now you put the burden on me, to deal with it. And I'm like, well, I don't know this going in. When you go in to perform, you don't know what's going on. You don't know that's why it's dangerous to kind of do. Everyone's caught up into this, what's his name, this Matt Rife guy because he works off the audience. And I'm going, wow, geez, I wish I had thought about that, which I did about what.
That's not even his set. He hates doing the crowd work.
He does?
Yeah. I saw an interview with him. He hates it.
He's pretty good at it.
He's really good.
But I will tell you this. I watched Earl, and Earl has, number one, it's never mean. It's playful, but it's not mean. And the other is his memory is unbelievable. You have I don't know.
Yeah, I got a Vegas closer that you got to check out. Yeah.
Buddy, how do you do that? Like, it's amazing. And it's never the same. And it's basically, I don't want to give anything away, but it's crowd work.
Well, what's funny about it is like,
phenomenal.
Like I was watching the Bills the other day, and then I decided to watch this.
That was some comedy there.
Yeah, I started to decide. I changed my mind, decided to watch football, and so I was.
How dare you? I was at that game.
Let me tell you something.
I was there to the bitter end, Earl. Right to the end.
It's nothing worse than going out there and freezing your ass off.
Yeah.
And someone not playing well. And I feel kind of bad too because every year it's like, the guy I used to work with, I can't even DeTulio.
Yes.
Big Penn State fan.
Yes.
I know he's standing on an edge somewhere.
Oh,
because
yeah.
every year it's the same thing with Penn State. Every year it's the same thing. They go out, they play like Delaware, the Blue Hens. They play them. They beat up on 5 teams. Everyone's all happy. They think they're going to the national championship. They come up to Ohio State. Ohio State makes them look ridiculous. And then everyone wants to fire Franklin. Then they play the next 5 games. They beat up on like Indiana or whatever.
Yeah, Rutgers.
Right, exactly. And then next thing you know, and then they play Michigan. Then they get beat up and they were ridiculous. Everyone wants to fire Franklin. Every year they go 10-2. Every year they get some mediocre bowl, and every year people are going to just deal with. And I felt bad for Buffalo because every year this is as close as I thought they were ever going to be.
Yeah, me too.
And then I went to. I didn't even watch the game on what was it? Was it Monday night?
Yeah.
Was it Monday night?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I wake up and I just happened to be scrolling through my Facebook, and there was someone that was from that I know from up there. Oh, I've given up on the Bills. I go, oh crap, they must have lost. And so I'm sitting there thinking out.
Give up, Earl. Earl, we were all in the stands. We're jumping around because Denver missed the field goal. We're all jumping around, and then all of a sudden there's a flag because Buffalo had 12 men on the field, so they get to kick it again, and then that was it.
Yeah, and that's one of those horrible mental mistakes, for goodness sakes. I mean, you can't even blame anybody. You talk about accountability. Yeah. You can't blame anybody else for not being able to count to 12. I mean, come on, But and the weird thing, here's the weird thing about all of that too, is like, I mean, I watch like that in Buffalo, and I just see, and I always go through the crowd, and it's so nice because people always go. I said, they're talking about building a new stadium. Why don't they put a roof on it? Yeah. And people go, no, they don't want to put a roof on it because that's our advantage. And I go, well, the players aren't all from Buffalo.
No, they're not. It is an odd thing, but they do want to keep the elements. I think of the new stadium, somewhere between 60 and 70% of the seats are dry, like won't be affected by the weather.
Just the field.
Okay.
Just the field.
So that's at least good, yeah.
So it's like, I guess it's like sitting inside a snow globe. Right, because at one point you're going to be dry, but the field will be good.
It's the high end seats that are not going to be the ones that are dry.
Well, and it's taken after Tottenham Hotspur.
Yeah,
yeah. It's a gorgeous,
you were there.
Yeah, it was just there.
Yeah,
that is awesome.
Well, see, that's the thing. Oh my goodness, who was that?
This is Laura.
Hi, Laura.
Hi, Earl. How you doing?
She didn't talk the whole time. I was sitting there and I'm going, oh my God, one of the guys actually transitioned during the interview. I can't even believe that. I know it's happening a lot, but I didn't know it happened that fast. My goodness.
Well, it depends on how good your health insurance is. Got a good
Listen, I'll tell you right now.
Yeah.
I had a chance to go to a game in Buffalo when I was up there, and I passed on. I am the only person that would be happily to take preseason tickets in Buffalo. People go, well, none of the guys play. I don't give a rat's ass. It's warm. I can't sit out there. There's nothing worse. I turn on the TV. I always see those 5 white guys with no shirts on selling out bills.
They were there.
Yeah.
Why they got to be white guys?
Because they're always white guys.
You know what? You know why they got to be white? Because you never see any black guys doing it. You don't. You know what else you don't see?
What?
You never see black guys run on the field.
Nope.
You never see that crap.
Nope.
Because we wouldn't get that far. We can barely get to our. The day black people decide to do that, that's when they'll start using dogs instead of fat overweight security guys to hunt these guys down. We can barely get to our seat without someone going, "Are you supposed to be sitting there?" God forbid we get into the field.
Yeah, being black in America is tough.
You don't know.
Well, I
do think so.
Listen,
yes, sir.
The other opposite of that is I think we're getting to a point where we're getting too much caught up into things that are supposed to be like racist and all of these things. Yeah. And I think, that and protesting and stuff has almost lost its appeal because everyone's doing it for everything. When they were in Salt Lake City and they had a protest of a bunch of people showing up because they didn't want to wear a mask, I said, oh my God, it's like, then maybe you just don't wear it.
Yeah, right. Right.
Why block traffic because you don't want to wear a mask? I mean, if you're thinking of protest and you go down the list, you go, well, that's probably at the bottom of the mask thing. Probably at the bottom. You want equality and racism and everything. That's fine. But now I think we're getting to a point now where it's like everything is racist, and and I'm one of the few, and this will get me in trouble. No black people like me anyway. But here's the thing, this will probably get me in trouble. Just my family, and that's questionable. It's like, here's the thing. I have never blamed white people for anything I've ever done. I can understand that. Everything I've ever done has been a pure, unadulterated, African-American Negro Earl David Reed mistake. It has never.
But them reparations.
There's never been any white people behind my fuck ups. I'm happy to say that I am diversity where I'm able to do it myself.
Yeah.
And so it's so funny when you get to this point. So now you get to a point as a performer, you get out there and you're going, okay, am I going to mogul through this stuff? And I just said, you know what? I'm just going to Earl Campbell it. I'm just going to run right down the middle. Yeah. Okay, and if I get stopped, I get stopped. If not, I'm just going to try to run you over and go with it. I don't have time to sit there and have everyone be upset about all that stuff.
Look at that accountability.
Listen, accountability is interesting because that's the one thing that people, when you ask them about anything, they avoid completely.
I agree.
Something as simple as okay. Weight loss. You know why people don't want to lose weight? Because it's the only thing they're responsible for. If it doesn't work, it's because you didn't have it work. There's no way that you should not be able to lose weight. Matter of fact, I've never met a person yet that were overweight and they just said, you know why I'm overweight, Earl? Because I eat too much fucking food. That's why I'm overweight.
Exactly.
Never met that person.
No.
Hi,
I've never met that person.
It's a funny thing.
And it's like, well, it runs in my family. I got this special disease, blah, blah, all this other stuff, And meanwhile, people are doing. But she's right. Accountability is something that no one wants to take accountability. They want to take it anymore. And so for me, I'm like, well, I'm just going to be that kind of person where I just do what I ever can. I'm going to perform whatever way I can. And so far, I haven't had any problems. I've only had one time where I had a transgender person in the audience, and I'm scared because I don't know my pronouns or whatever. I don't know exactly. And if someone's walking at me fast, now I got to run that Rolodex through my head on what I'm supposed to call them, And I remember when I was a kid, this is a true story. When I was a kid, and I went and I took a test on pronouns, and I got my pronouns all messed up. Okay. I got that test home, and my mother she sat up with me and she drilled me on these pronouns because she was able to get me to retake this test. So for 2 days, she drilled me for this pronouns and everything and make sure that I got them right. Well, if she were alive today, I would punch her in the face because I'll tell you right now. Everything doesn't even matter this morning. You want to hear something even funkier? So when my mom passed away and we did all the artifacts, we went into this folder, and in that folder was the test that I retook that I got an A on. She kept it to that day, And so when I found that, it made me laugh and think about this whole thing with the pronoun thing because I don't know him anymore. I don't know is he, she, them, whatever. It's like, and I'm scared to even ask.
You just made the personal organizer cry.
Yeah. But I think in a way, if you're just going natural, no agenda, you're not trying to make a point. Hey, I know they want to be identified as well. I know they're really born a he. And you're going to, if you do it by just accident and they correct you, I figure it's no big deal. No one's out. I really, truly believe that majority of people are not going to be assholes to you, not on purpose.
Right.
But a small handful, but they always get the most attention. And kind of back to your other thing with accountability, I'm a big believer in no matter what happens to you, no matter what it is, and a lot of people have a problem with this, it's your fault. You get into a car accident and a deer ran in front. Somehow, some way, you had something going on in your world because I think that your brain's a magnet and you're bringing a lot of things to you, whether you want it or not. Or it's putting you on a path to something that is the path of least resistance to where you really should be. But
Well, and you're right, because a lot of times too, like me, like if I make a mistake, like I said, even with my performance, if I make a mistake or something like that, I'll apologize. Oh, my bad. I'll just say my bad. I won't get on the apology. My bad, and then we move on.
Right.
But if you can't accept that, that's fine. I can't tell you how many times people have not called me Earl David Reed. Okay, and I still have to correct them. And they go, okay, I'm sorry, but I don't yell at them forever.
No.
I've been called David Earl Reed. I've been called James Earl Jones. Okay. How about this one? I was called James Earl Ray. That was really good. That happened the night I was doing Showtime at the Apollo, boy. Boy, they got quiet when I walked out.
Come on. You're kidding me.
I was like, they must have set me up, man. I'm not going out there, Of course, again, the average student doesn't study history anymore, so they probably didn't know what the hell I was talking about anyway. So it's just one of these things now where I'm just like, you know what? Like I said, I'm just performing. We have a good time. My shows don't get hurt. I did a show once. There was a transgender person and I was halfway done. It was at a theater show with a big stage set. I was just about done. It was killer. I said to myself, they're going to stand when I'm done. I feel it. Sometimes when you're up on stage,
Yeah.
You're going to stand. Like, they're going to stand. So I'm there. I maybe got, as I'm looking at my thing, I've got about 4.5 minutes left, because on the front stage, when I do a big stage show, I have a countdown clock that's up there, so I don't go over.
Okay.
So I'm about 5.5 minutes left, and someone goes, "Hey, you got any jokes about transgenders?" So once someone yells that out in a theater and it's quiet, you can hear everyone's ass pucker. You can hear it all get tight. You can hear. So now, once they hear where they hear where it comes from, and as soon as they're done hearing where it comes from, you see all these heads shift and look at me on the stage. So I was like, I said, what do you want to hear? I said, do you want to hear a joke because you want to hear something that'll make you laugh, or you want to hear something that's going to offend you? Okay.
Yeah.
And they said, oh, well, just say it and then I'll let you know. And I go, oh my God, everyone get your phones out. Okay. Because I told them, I said, listen, here's my thing, folks. I'm trying to get canceled. Okay. I want to get canceled because I need the publicity. Okay. I definitely need it. But the guy that lives in the next town from me, who opened up for me years ago, Shane Gillis, he goes on there, he makes a bad remark, he gets kicked off of Saturday Night Live. I actually talked to him one time and I said, how did you get a big following? He goes, well, once I got kicked off of there, people were like, well, let's see what he said.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he followed all over the place. Yeah. So, so I'm like, I'll let's do that. We'll go that route. Yeah. But in any case, the person was like, and I was nice about him. And I said, well, first of all, I just have to start by saying, I don't know what kind of joke I do, but maybe I'll think of one. But I just want to say, if you want someone to be upset about something, I said, I'm upset. I mean, I can't believe that I'm getting ready to do this and you came out here and you pissed all over my show, And I said, but the only question I have to ask you is, when you do piss, are you using the men's room or the ladies' room? Okay. And they all laugh, and then that person comes up to me afterwards, and they go, "Yeah, well, I was just trying to see where your head was at on the topic."
Well, who cares?
And I'm like,
who cares?
Exactly.
Somebody looking for trouble.
I go,
God,
I said, well, you ought to. I said, you ought to be ashamed of yourself because this is what makes people crazy.
100%.
Okay, the angry, the meanness, the wanting to fight about it and stuff. Listen, I don't give a shit what you want to be. I don't care who you want to be. Okay, and it doesn't matter to me. But you can't get mad at me because I don't understand it.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
I mean, when I was in college and high school, I couldn't understand physics. My teacher was mad as hell at me. I get that. Okay. But this other thing, I'm like, no, just do what you need to do, but without having to bring me into it, And I always tell people, look, some people like broccoli, some people don't like broccoli, okay? But the people that like broccoli aren't chastising the people that don't like broccoli.
No, they do, because if you eat broccoli, you fart like a mofo, and it's terrible.
Let me tell you, well, asparagus is my other one too.
But I love asparagus. But that makes your pee smell funny.
It's a great fat burner.
Oh, I bet it is.
It's a great fat burner, asparagus. And it's funny because I was like, if you don't like broccoli. And I said, and I'll tell you right now, well, I can't stand broccoli. I said, I'm a broccoli racist is what I am. I said, if there's ever a protest, going down the street for broccoli, for protesting against broccoli, I'm going to be right in front of that with the appropriate flag to show you my displeasure of broccoli. So when I tell them like that, people, oh, okay, because apparently people understand food and they do people, you know. But it's like it's just one of these things where it is getting a little bit more difficult. But I mean, I did a show the other night for the Republican Party, okay, and people got my messages and told me I was horrible for doing it for the Republican Party. And I said, they go, well, you know, they're all racist. I said, they didn't pay me in Confederate money. You know, I don't have to, you know. I mean, it was good tender, you know. So I was there. I mean, and I was performing to be performing. And usually the best way to perform is like when you go into a situation and you don't know everything about it. Yes. And then you can ask questions about it and be funny. Like, I'm not the best political person in the world. So when I'm asking questions and I make things about, I can't believe how many signs you guys have out in this, with all this stuff. Just really stuff. It's kind of cute and it's kind of interesting. And I know, but these people are amazing. I mean, you'd be surprised. And I get messages. No one ever comes to my page and puts them on. They give me messages. I did a promotion for this place called Nikki's Black Box. It's in Lidditz, Pennsylvania. It's called Rock Lidditz.
Nikki's Black Box?
Yeah, it's an event center.
Okay.
And it's put on by, I can't remember who the guys it is, but they have studios there, guys, that are like 10,000 feet tall in the air, big recording studios and everything.
Oh, nice.
And all the recording stars come and they stop through there and they work out there. So, I was doing a walkthrough for my show that's on Friday. I was doing a walkthrough for them. And I was there, it was like 6 to 8 o'clock. And I said, oh, listen, can I just leave? Because I already know what I need to do for this in the walkthrough. So I walk out this door, and the production company's still in there. I walk out there about 7:30. 7:35, the same door I walked out of, the door opens up. Steven Tyler comes in.
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah, so now the producer sends me a picture of him talking to Steven Tyler going, hey, bro, Earl, where'd you go, man? You know, and I'm sitting there going, son of a bitch, I could have met Steven Tyler. I thought that would have been, but you know, for me, I'm at the point now where it's like, where I'm just doing what I'm doing.
Yes.
I'm just trying to enjoy what I'm doing. You know, and make comedies, you know, bringing a smile to somebody's face is probably the last action of any pleasure we have.
Earl,
you know?
I think that when you go to a comedy show, you're expecting to be offended in some way. So I think I'm going to come to your show on that Saturday and you can rip me apart and we'll see, you know.
Listen, if anything, I'll do like most comedians and just try to sleep with you. Okay? You know.
Hey, I'm single.
Hey, listen, I'm double.
See, well, you can, yeah.
Well, come up and say hi, because here's the thing with me. I just like to go and I just like to perform. And I know I work with a lot of the comedians, and you can go on your feet. There's tons of comedy out there. There's tons of it out there, you know, and it almost doesn't make any sense. Like back and like I did the Tonight Show with Jay. Okay. But now that doesn't even matter. Like if you look at any late night talk shows, nobody has any comedians on. They pretty much have the person that's doing the next biggest movie or something that's coming on.
Yeah,
you know, you got 9,000 comedy clubs that are open up everywhere. You got people that are, coming up and like there's an open mic night here in Harrisburg, and I'll stop down there tomorrow night to jump on to get ready for Friday. But I mean, it's just amazing when I feel blessed, because it's amazing when you see all these people that are trying it and just can't do it. And comedy's one of these things, like you can't tell any guy, I don't know how it is with the ladies, but you can't tell any guy he's not funny. Wow. You cannot tell them. They will be offended by that big time. For some reason, you can talk about their mother, anything like that. But if you tell a guy he's not funny, that'll really piss him off.
Well, I always say that.
It pisses him off.
Yeah. Dying's easy. Comedy's hard.
Well, the whole funny thing about it is, like, you know, when you go up and it's like, there's nights I go, well, you know, people come in, that was great. And I go to my mind, I grade myself in my mind, and I go, well, they thought that was like an A+, but I give that like a B+, maybe. I probably could have said this here, said this there,
right?
Or, you know, or whatever. And, you know, and just try to work through it. But it's like, you know, you see all these people that are actually, trying to do it. And, you know, someone did a comedy interview with me, and they said, well, do you think women are funny? And I was like, well, listen,
no.
I'm not going to get into that.
No, I'm kidding, Earl. Of course not.
I said, I'm not going to get into that. I was like, well, it depends on who the woman is.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not going to, you know, it like just depends on who the guy is, you know?
Right.
We'll talk about
I
this
mean,
further.
I was like, well, listen, that's a trick question. I'm not going to answer that, you know? I'm just like, it's like, gee, wow. Why don't you ask me about abortion? Ask me that.
No,
Something something that's a little easier to answer than the woman funny question, for God's sake.
Well, Earl is at Comedy at the Carlson next Friday and Saturday. You can get tickets. The doing 2 shows Friday and Saturday, right? 7:30, 7 and 9:30.
Friday and Saturday, 2 shows.
Yeah.
It's always a lot of fun. We always come up there. It's always nice to see the people that used to like me. And
they still love you, Earl.
Which one's the trend show, Earl?
I've never had some people send me some stuff that was just unbelievable. Like I said, the thing that broke my heart is the landscape of Rochester. It just changed, and it's because of just I think it's just the community's not communicating. Everyone wants to blame the police for stuff, but like he said, it's the people. It's just everything, and it's just sad.
I think it's starting to get a little bit better, but I think it is everywhere, and it's just taking time. It's like the pendulum swings so far in one direction, and it slowly starts to come back, and I hope that's kind of the case here too. But man, I'm so bummed they're going to be out of town. I would love to see you.
Well, listen, I'm going to come up there just to hang. I'm going to come up there just to hang when I get some time off and stuff. I'll wait till the spring because, God forbid, I don't want to be up there when it snows.
No, you don't.
I learned my lesson living that way.
You did.
You know,
Yes.
I'm going to try to get on Cyril on Saturday night.
All right, good.
Listen, if you do, make sure you come up and you say hello. We'll take some pictures or stuff too. So. All
right, cool.
Hey, listen, congratulations on the podcast, man. It sounds really good. I've been listening down here, and it's working out really nice. I'm glad you did what you were supposed to do. Most people would have probably just kind of sat down a little bit, but obviously you know what what your job is and what you're doing. And if anyone listen to this and they need they should be sponsoring on this show.
Thank you.
This is the show that gets out, man. So if you're looking for some kind of advertising, whatever, first of all, not only is it a good show, I never met a guy that does a better read on a commercial. Let me tell you something. My reads were horrible. It was like that was like I knew it was something wrong when they go, Earl, you have a live read. I go, all right, who died? Because I know no one was asking me for anything like that.
That's funny.
So are you manscaped, Earl?
Am I manscaped? Let me tell you something. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well,
Earl,
I'm not a very hirsute person to begin with. I don't have a lot of hair on my body.
That may be true, but he's also a bodybuilder, so he did all those shows. That's right.
Okay, fitness guys.
Yes, he's a fitness guy.
I'll let you touch my abs if you play it right.
I'm definitely coming Saturday at 9:30 now, baby. Let's go.
You're not touching your own. All right, thanks, Earl.
That wasn't for her. That was for you, actually.
Earl, we'll see you.
In this day and age, who would care anyway?
Yeah.
How old is she? How old is she anyway?
I'm 38.
Oh, 30. Oh, geez. That's a little young for me.
She'll kill you, Earl.
That's all right, Earl.
No, listen.
Race relations.
You can lie about your age, Earl. We already decided black don't crack. It just bends, so you're good.
You know what? Here's the one thing that people have told me, and I know you got to go, so let me just keep this straight. I did a thing where I was working with. It was a benefit, and I was working with. I was the host of it, and I got to do this, and Hines Ward was there.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Okay, so he was there, and after I did my whole thing, his agent came up to me and he said, "Just call me because I gotta talk to you." Now, right now, I'm presently without an agent and stuff, and so I did some research on the guy. I was like, I wonder if he's any good. Well, Hines Ward won Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I was like, why would Hines Ward do Dancing with the Stars? And the reason why he did Dancing with the Stars is because he went up to his agent and he goes, I think I want to be on Dancing with the Stars. And next thing you know, he was on. And I was going, well, geez, I don't want to be back.
You got to call this.
Yeah, so I said, well, I'll go ahead and then I'll reach out. I mean, it was just fun because I was there and I was kind of roasting Hines Ward. I was like, Hines Ward is better than Tom Brady.
Bill needs this guy's number too.
No.
Yeah, I said he doesn't cheat. I said he doesn't cheat. He goes, there's no deflate gate. I said, Tom Brady takes the air out of footballs.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
I said, Hines Ward, his balls aren't deflated. Show him.
Show him, Hines. That's funny.
It's good to talk to you, man. And I'm sorry that when you reached out to me before I didn't get back to you, I was just going through a couple of things because I got the whole heart thing. That seems to be much better at this point.
Good.
So I went in there and the doctor was like, well, it's like nothing ever happened, but I'm like, yeah, it happened. So I'm still going to keep up with that. So.
All right, good.
But listen, I'm good. I'll load up on Eloquist and jump on what's her name when I get there.
All right, it'll be a very thankful weekend. Thanksgiving weekend with Earl David Reed.
I'm on the podcast the following week, so I'll give you guys an update.
I can't wait.
Listen, I bet you never spent a night with a guy that has a CPAP. I can tell you that.
No, but I have with black men, so, we're good.
Boy, all right.
Starts off nice. You wake up with a fighter pilot. That's what I look like with that thing on there. So.
All right, Earl.
All right. Well, it's good talking to you guys. Hey, man, Bill, you got my number here at the house and stuff, right? So
I will. Yes. Yep. Kevin has it, but I'll get it
sometime.
I will.
And I'll work out some time. Are you still talking to John?
Yes.
You guys still talk?
Yep. Yeah, we do.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Because that was a match made in heaven, pretty much. So I just wondered. I didn't want that to go to the wayside. So.
No, it's
okay,
all good. All right, man. Thank you, Earl.
All right. Love you guys. Thank you for reaching out. Remember,
Bye.
November 24th, 25th. Come to the Comedy Club. I'm looking for you. All right?
All
I
right.
got clean underwear on that night, so you better put out. Listen, okay, so come to the club, Comedy at the Carlson, one of the best comedy clubs there is in America. That's not a lie. That is the truth. So, all right, guys, we'll talk to you soon.
All right,
Thanks,
bye, Earl.
Bye.
See you later. Okay. Man, my man doesn't come up for a breath. I forgot.
I love Earl.
Oh, my God, that was hilarious.
He is very funny. All right, we will take a moment. When we come back, Peter Montemerno talking a little bit about the All-22 and looking ahead to the Bills-Jets game Sunday, 4:25. We'll get to that next, but first.
Friday night, I'm going to Turning Stone for the night. But my friend.
Good evening.
Good evening, Peter. How are you?
Good evening.
Good evening, Peter. How are you?
Since you've been gone, I'm a hurting inside. But I want you, baby, by my side, yeah. I'm crying.
I'm crying. I'm crying. I'm crying, Peter, because the goddamn Buffalo Bills.
I'm not crying.
Peter.
That's mean, Kevin.
Peter, Danny and I were at the game.
Vilified goes to the game and they lose a coach less than 24 hours later. What is up with that?
It's Danny's fault.
So, Peter, we stayed to the bitter end. The bitter end. And that, at first I'm watching and I go, oh my God, he missed a field goal. We're punching each other and high-fiving and going crazy. And then I think was it DeMar? You looked at the All-22. Please tell me it wasn't DeMar. That was the 12th.
No.
It was not.
It wasn't.
It wasn't.
No.
Okay, because
He was on the field, though, wasn't he?
the rumor was that DeMar was the 12th
I've
man
heard
on
that.
the field. Well,
Yeah. Kevin sent me a horrible, horrible gif.
I mean, really, there's 12 guys on the field, right? So it could have been, who knows who's supposed to be in what position. So whoever was, and the end man's line shouldn't have been there. Or so, even if DeMar was on the field at that point, it not necessarily means that he wasn't supposed to be. It could be anybody out there.
So
that wasn't supposed to be out there.
Peter, a lot on the post-game show, and Danny's not here tonight. I don't know if you knew that.
I did. Yep.
So he and I were driving. We sat in traffic for hours. It felt like an eternity.
Holding hands and crying.
And we were listening to the post-game show, and the host kept saying, "Oh, they're gonna fire a special teams guy, and it's gonna be one of these feel-good moments to fire the special teams coach." Well, then they turn around and it's Ken Dorsey, and you wonder, was that the right move? I mean, how many games has he been the offensive coordinator? 10?
Yeah, he's
Total?
been there for 4 years. He was the quarterback's coach before that. So,
right.
I mean, yeah.
But as the offensive coordinator, and it is, look, maybe this will be the thing that kind of kicks everybody into gear. Who knows? Certainly, there are a lot of guys I didn't realize that Mike Shula's on the staff as an offensive assistant, and he was a head coach in Cincinnati. I think he was the youngest head coach in the NFL at one point.
At the time. At that time, yeah.
But I don't know if that's, I mean, what does that say? These guys were all on the same staff. I guess the buck ultimately stops with Dorsey, but how do you feel about that? Was that the right move at this point, in your opinion?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
And the reason why I say that is because if there aren't 12 men on the field,
right,
and the Bills go 6-4,
right,
Dorsey doesn't lose his job.
Yeah.
At least in my opinion, he doesn't. And, and looking at the game and the body of work that went into the Bills' offensive game plan and what they executed upon, there was some really awful things that happened Monday night. There was some really great things that happened Monday night. It started off awful.
Oh,
with
yeah.
The fumble.
Yeah.
But, you were talking about last week and maybe 2 weeks ago how, it's great to see McDermott, he's on the field clapping and screaming, let's go. And the defense has a good play to come to the sideline.
Yeah.
Well, that move benching Cook was a JV high school football coach move.
That bothered me. And
and then you don't bench Gabe.
A friend of ours said last night on the podcast, you don't bench Gabe Davis. So it feels like,
right.
And there was a guy behind Danny and I in the stands, and we were about 20 rows up on the 25-yard line behind the visitors' bench. And this guy was losing his mind going, why is Gabe Davis still on the field? Why is he out there? And that's a fair question. I mean, if you're going to bench Cook, and then, I don't even know that the benching worked. I thought I was going to pass out when I saw him drop the ball again, but then it bounces back up into his hands. It was a smooth open, but all of a sudden I screamed, "Oh my God, it's down!" And we're back. It was wild. It was right in stride too. It was like that ball couldn't have bounced more perfectly for him. However,
it was a wave of emotions and reactions within a second.
Yeah. Right. Maybe even half a second. The thing that I do wonder, though, there doesn't seem to be consistency in, I don't know if it's punishment or expectation. I'm not sure.
I don't know. And the optics of this thing, just to me, it doesn't look good. That first series, they had several plays. They're moving down the field, and then Josh finds Gabe inside the 15-yard line. The ball is in his hands, goes right through his hands, and they intercept it. And they were moving the ball in a nice clip. They had a 17-yard game, they had a 25-yard game, they had an 8-yard game. They're moving the ball like you want to see the Bills in the up-tempo in the first series, actually the second series of the game after the fumble. But they're doing all the things that it's like when that happens, it's almost as if they lose swagger. It's like they're snake bit. Here we go again. And it started to mushroom. And, you had the next series was 4 plays. The next series after that was 3. And then they kicked it into gear again. But it just, again, after that first series, it looked like they were doing the right things. That second series. And then, again, snake bit. And Gabe Davis wasn't benched for that. It wasn't. Obviously, the fumble was a forced thing. James Cook, and the defender made a great play. Ripping the ball out of Cook's hands. Gabe was there. That's his job. Nobody is defending him, and the ball hits him in the hands.
Right.
And I think a lot of the Bills fans and, frankly, probably some folks in that locker room have had it with this inconsistent play from wide receiver number 2.
Right.
And again, he stays out there. So the optics did not look good. Again, JV high school football coach move to bench Cook. Wrong move. Wrong move.
Talk about the optics. Again, this will be all opinion based in your opinion, but you got Stephon Diggs' brother, Trayvon, saying, "Get him out of there. You got to get out of there, bro," or whatever he was putting out on Twitter is basically saying that he shouldn't be in Buffalo or it's not long for Buffalo, which then puts back the relationship he used to have with Josh Allen, where they talked in the press about how they could basically read each other's minds and they finish each other's sentences. I mean, I'm exaggerating, but it was that sort of thing. And now all of a sudden you've got what seems to be somewhat of an I don't know if it's an adversarial relationship, but is it a question of who's really the team leader and should it be Stephon Diggs? Because, look, we talk about all the time about how quarterbacks, and you can go back through the history of the NFL with getting receivers' faces about you've got to grab that, and nobody's doing that. No one got in Gabe Davis's face. I didn't see Josh Allen. He just went over and sat down. Where's somebody to do what Tom Brady did, to do what Troy Aikman did, to do what these other quarterbacks who had a high level of success, and certainly Josh has the ability to do what they do or surpass it.
Jim Kelly would do it in the press.
Jim Kelly be getting in guys' faces. So you're not seeing that, and yet when Stephon gets emotional or angry, we call him a diva. It just seems to be, again, a double standard that's unfair, but somebody's got to be the leader. And if it's not going to be Josh, it probably should be Stephon Diggs.
Where you started with that point, it was like the number one bromance in America last year with those two.
Yeah.
I mean, post-game interviews, hugging each other, saying, "Go Bills, this is my quarterback, this is my receiver, we're on the same page." Where did that go? We haven't seen anything like that. Even in wins, we haven't seen that type of communication, or that type of on-screen performance, if you will, this year. So I don't know where that went, but you're right. That there's something wrong. There's something wrong in that locker room. I don't know what it is. Even Bill, I don't know if you were listening to the postgame. Maybe this happened this year. I don't know. I can't remember. But to have Josh Allen in the postgame presser with his center.
Oh, that's never happened.
Center.
That's never happened. And Josh's answers, he had a longer pause than any of his answers. His pause, somebody timed it, was 9 seconds.
It's the first block he had all game.
His longest answer was 8 seconds.
It was bad. It just came off bad. Mitch Morris has some very good, cogent responses.
Yeah.
And Josh Allen's like, "Yep, nope, just got to be better." Yeah, it looked terrible. And I don't know why it was delivered that way. I have no idea.
I want to throw this out and get your opinion on this.
Yeah.
There's one guy in the NFL who, no matter what happens currently in the NFL right now at the quarterback position, that at least from what I've seen, and we're not in the same market, so you're going to see more if you're in this city. But this guy is the same on a loss as a win, always seems to be kind of relaxed and a little bit playful, and certainly not to the point where someone will go, he doesn't even care if they don't win. That's not it. But that would be Joe Burrow. And he gets that Joe Cool. His answers, I mean, when he was injured and he wasn't even really blaming anybody else, just basically going, "Yep, we're out there. This is what we're doing." And the same thing when they win. And maybe he's got a bigger smile on his face after a win, but his answers are about the same length and about the same cadence and attitude and everything. And you're not getting that from this. You're seeing Josh, to me, I don't know what you think, Peter. It's like he's spiritually broken. Like
press conferences are a joke because you're never going to get an answer that you want. You want that long-winded, deep answer that you're never going to get. I think
but you can also tell something, I think, about a guy's psyche. Now, I don't want a guy to be elated after a loss, especially like this, but you want something a little bit more where, hey, you know what? I feel what you're feeling, and I know what you're seeing, and we're going to fix this.
You want somewhere between Belichick and Terrell Owens? That's my quarterback?
Yes. Yeah,
Josh doesn't seem passionate right now.
I mean, right, exactly. It's just lacking something. Lacking passion, it's lacking enthusiasm. I almost wonder, like, the look on his face on the sidelines, and I'm not in his head, I have no idea, but it's almost like when things are going wrong, or, he had his hands on his head in that last drive, and like one of his thoughts are, "Oh man, I'm gonna have to face the media about this." I wonder, just because, just the way everything seems and how it goes in succession, from the play on the field right into the press conference. I thought Mitch Morris was really good. I thought his answers were very good. Again, like Kevin said, we're not going to get the end all be all. Wow, can't believe that guy said that. No,
Right.
we're going to get a lot of jock speak. We're going to get a lot of coach speak. I think that where I felt something was going to happen the next day when Vic Carucci asked the question, which I was waiting for a good question because some of these guys in that room don't ask good questions. But I was waiting for Carucci. I was waiting for somebody. He said, Coach, are you going to do anything drastic after this game? And McDermott stopped for a second and said, well, I'm really mad right now. I'm really pissed off right now. But I got to wait, which I appreciate because you don't want to make a decision like that on an emotional high or an emotional low.
100%. We've all done it in life, and it never works out.
Sure.
Sure,
it never does.
Once the adrenaline stops flowing, you go, oh, fuck, what did I do? What did I do?
Yeah, because I'm going to fire that guy. That's my answer. He's fired.
So something had to have been going on. We talked about it last week. The crack in the foundation was there.
Yep.
We heard it in the press conference after the Cincinnati game. We heard it. We know what it was. Okay. So did it boil over into this game? Clearly. But if McDermott was going to wait to watch the film and the way that this game, from an offensive standpoint, played out, should he have lost his job because of that game? No, not at all. I mean, you're 5-5. You're still in this thing. You're playing division rival in a short week. At home, a chance to get back at the Jets after what they did week one. Then you go, your toughest part of the schedule is coming up,
right,
and you fire your OC.
Yeah.
Again, Buffalo has been in all the top rankings in offensive production this year. And I know it doesn't feel right.
I
When
know.
you look at the film, it doesn't look that way.
Right.
It doesn't look that way because it's not consistent enough. They're not putting defenders in conflict. They're not forcing the issue on the defense. It's very predictable.
But if they're winning, he's not reckless. That's the weird part. If he's winning those games, those picks and interceptions and fumbles don't matter because he's not reckless at that point. When they're losing, he's reckless.
He's reckless. And Kevin, I wonder, 15 of the last 22 plays were running plays.
Yes.
15 of the last 22.
Yes.
Did McDermott take over the call during the game?
Wow.
That's a
I would
great,
love to know
wow, Peter, because we were standing in the stands going, wow, but it was working. It was working. They got into the end zone and Josh ran it in. But that was surprising to me because you've got a guy who's got an arm and he's a gunslinger, but maybe you know that his confidence is gone. Here's the thing that I did wonder. Did Dable just have a better read on who Josh was? Brought him through, kind of, coached him up, was on the sideline for a number of seasons, and then went upstairs to have that bigger, view, that 10,000-foot proverbial view of the field to see the plays unfold, and that it just seemed to be better. And now you got a new guy in there. Certainly Josh advocated for him, but boy, there was even a play, Peter. I mean, what are we doing on a 4th and 2 where he's in a shotgun 5 yards back?
And you're 6 yards away from the line to gain.
Yeah.
I don't understand that.
Made no sense
I don't
to me.
understand that. Nope, zero. None at all. And then they ran a play that, goodness, I think it didn't even get to the line of scrimmage.
Right. So, I mean, and then when I'm watching, just one more thing, and I apologize, but when I'm watching Russell Wilson, who everybody's saying, well, what's going on with Russell Wilson? Russell Wilson was elusive. He never turned the ball over. He protected it, and somehow that Sean Payton has given him an outlet every time. Whether it was
they ran the ball.
But they
took it out of his hands so he wouldn't turn it over.
No, but there was
when
times
he had to throw it, he was finding guys that were wide open.
Well, there were guys that were wide open, but there were also times where he's doing like underhand pitches to guys. There was always an outlet that was at least 3 to 5 yards. Yeah, Sandlot, but 3 to 5 yards in his vicinity where he could quickly get the ball out, and no matter throwing it overhand, underhand, between his legs, around his back, it didn't matter.
That touchdown throw was basically he was throwing it away, and the guy just happened to catch it and drag his foot.
I agree. But, I mean, I just thought the other stuff that he didn't look as bad as I had. I don't know. That wasn't a team that Miami hung 70 points on. That wasn't.
That was a team that beat Kansas City.
Yeah.
He's a veteran. He's a Super Bowl champion. He's a guy that knows his offense. He's a guy, regardless of what his age is, and obviously his production isn't where it used to be when he's a champ. But he knows where his players are on the field.
Yeah.
So that's why he's able to do these little shovel passes and these sandlot things, because he knows where everybody is. and he has confidence within chaos. And that's a little bit of different. That's a different aspect of the quarterback position that we're not seeing from Josh Allen right now. I mean, there's one play that really told me a lot. And again, I'm watching it on overhead view. I'm not sure 100% what's in Josh Allen's sight line. But there was a play, it was 3rd and 8 in the fourth quarter. He had Shakir wide open on the right side of the field. There was a blitz by the Broncos. There was pressure. But Josh had already made the decision to throw to the left side boundary. And the reason why Shakir was wide open is because the safety, there was one single high safety. The safety was already had his hips open to the side where Josh was going to eventually throw, which told me there's some kind of tell that Josh Allen has. If there is a blitzing error, they're blitzing from that side, Josh is going to throw to that side based upon the down distance, based upon the personnel package, based upon the situation in the game. So that safety automatically opened up to the other side, letting Shakir go right behind him on the right side boundary. If Josh hangs in for a split second longer, looks his eyes over to the right side, it's a touchdown all day long, every day. It's not even – so I'm wondering if these are these types of things where the Bills are a little too predictable and Josh doesn't have the confidence within chaos. He doesn't. Yeah. He doesn't.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, hopefully that happens. What do you think of Brady as an offensive coordinator? The guy who was I think he was at LSU. I think he was with the Panthers, which is always something that I scratch my head about with Sean McDermott. But the guy has experience as an offensive coordinator, and he was the quarterback's coach. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I don't know. A guy named Brady on the Bills. That's we put all our hopes and dreams in. No, but I think that I said this. Nobody said it yet, but I want him on the sideline. I don't want him in the booth. He's been on the sideline with Josh. They have a relationship during the game. I'd like that to continue. Put another assistant coach up there that's having the dialogue with the OC on the sideline. Who knows what's going to happen? I think it's going to be very important for the OC to be on the sideline now. Okay. Having that immediate dialogue with Josh, talking to the offensive assistant up in the booth. So I don't know. He's got the pedigree, right? He's got national champions in college.
Yep. LSU.
Panthers didn't have much of anything back in 2020 and 21. I mean, they were. I know Darnold was here and all these types of things, but he didn't have much to work with down here. So he has a ton to work with in Buffalo.
And experience.
The offensive line did a really good job. He has experience.
And by the way, the defense too. I mean, the defense,
they were really good.
I thought they were great. Again, a bend don't break, and a lot of injuries on there, and I thought they did all right.
And the thing that bothers me, think about when Josh left the field, the Bills were winning. When he left the field, the Bills were winning. And then again, the defense gives up the drive. And why in the world is McDermott throwing or calling cover zero full blitz on that play when they're already out of field position? And I guess I understand you're thinking if we get them, the game's over. But you're putting a cornerback, and I'm not sure why Johnson. Again, it's cover zero. You can't let anybody behind you. Within 3 steps, the receiver's already behind him. So the play was broken. If the quarterback throws it perfectly, if Russell Wilson throws it perfectly down the field, touchdown. He had separation off the line. Johnson didn't do his job off the line. And it was bad football. Do you call that pass interference on bad football like that in terms of a bad throw?
Right.
I don't know. But why are you making that call? I guess, but come on, he's already out of field position for a field goal. You don't need to do that. You're getting pressure on him with 4 guys throughout the night. You don't need to do that. So I don't know what kind of move was that. And that's another question I have. Again, I try to listen to what I'm not hearing. Is there we've had a history of meddling owners in this league, and does Bagula say, Terry, it's either him or you?
Yeah.
I don't know. Terry's a fan. He's been a fan since a kid. He's a kid.
Yeah.
Is he listening to WGR and all these other media outlets and hearing all the fans. I have no idea.
What do you think? Give me a prediction for Sunday. 4:25 at home, the Jets. Game 2 of the AFC.
Jets.
I like the Bills by 2 scores.
Oh, wow. Okay. Because I'm starting to say, like, I don't like Peter's predictions because they're usually right on. Even Danny said, because we were up there and we did the podcast from the Bills Mafia house, he said to me, this one's going to be a nail biter. And I go, come on, a nail biter. It was a nail biter.
If you can score 11 points in the Jets, you're probably going to win.
I think,
I've seen better
there's
offenses.
some unfinished business here.
Yeah, there is.
And 4:25, and again, you have a short week. Quote unquote. I think they're going to be prepared well. There's a lot that has gone on. You lost. They had that players only meeting last week that didn't amount to a hill of beans. But let's see what happens here. Because of everything that happened, because maybe the chains are off. Who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe the chains are off, and let's see. And that's what I'm banking on.
All right. Well, Peter,
What everybody's waiting for now, Peter, is what's up with the Lions this week? How are the Lions looking this week?
They look great, man. I mean, this week they're who they got? Who they have this week? The Bears? Nah, they're gonna wipe the floor with the Bears. But that was a huge win for them out in San Diego.
Yeah,
that was
big.
That was a track meet. A track meet.
Yeah.
The one thing you said, Bill, at the onset of this, where you guys were in traffic driving home, just you two in the car, and it just evoked this image of the movie Tommy Boy, and when they were both in the car listening to Linda Ronstadt and crying. And I wonder if I like that image. So I appreciate you starting off.
Yes, Danny and I were crying together, and we're holding hands and sniffling. But are you crying? No, I'm not crying.
It is
to win.
Such a long drive home when they lose.
Well, it's a long drive home, and then I will say this: I'm a big believer in whatever happens is your own fault. Whatever happens to you is your own fault.
So it's your fault the Bills lost?
No. Maybe. But I said to Danny, we went back. We had parked right in front of the Bills Mafia house. Peter, I said to Danny, why don't we go inside and use the bathroom and let some of this clear, or at least a path maybe in another direction opens up if we give it about 10 minutes. Nope, let's go now. All right, we go now. And Peter, we sat and freaking sat for a long time.
Been there.
And I
because it was down to the wire. Everybody's staying at the game.
Yes. Well, Danny said to me at one point, I go, let me know if you want to. He goes, I don't want to be that guy.
For the record,
I don't want to be that guy that missed the win or the whatever. And I appreciated that. I love that guy. So what do you know?
My coworker left at 3 minutes. He was home in an hour and 9 minutes.
Yep. See?
Just for you there.
Yeah. And we got stuck right in there. I didn't get home till 3 o'clock in the morning. So that's all right.
And then they missed what? They missed two extra points.
Yes.
How did the Bills lose this?
I just don't know. I kept saying that as we were walking back, Peter. Those words kept left. I go, how did that happen?
They buffaloed
how
it up.
did that
They
happen?
buffaloed it.
They buffaloed it up.
They buffaloed it up. Yep.
Well,
That is true.
I appreciate you.
Bills by 10.
I appreciate
Bills by 10.
Yeah, Bills by 10. Okay. I appreciate you coming on. I hope the family is well.
My pleasure. Doing well. Thanks,
All right,
Bill.
Good.
Thanks,
You got it.
everyone.
Thanks, Peter.
All right. Take care, Peter.
Later on.
All right.
See you,
We will take a moment, and when we come back,
Earl.
no, there is one segment of the American population that I believe can get away with almost any crime. Any crime. And that would be middle-aged white women. And I will even prove a new one that I hadn't heard of. Middle-aged white women, I think, can get away with almost anything.
What's middle-aged?
You.
38. But first, not
Sister Christian, oh, the time has come. And you know that you're the only one.
Sing it, Kevin.
I'm Danny, baby.
Okay. Where you going, what you looking for? You know those boys don't wanna play no more with you.
It's true.
It's true.
A lot of things to say to that. Manny, you can't.
Motoring.
Something about this song. What were you singing there? And why would you sing such a thing? Why would you sing such a thing?
I have no idea.
No, I don't.
No idea.
It's Josh.
It's Josh. Okay. Why would you sing such a thing?
Because I'm an ass.
Yes. Okay. As long as you admit that, that's all that matters.
I admit nothing.
Okay. I said that middle-aged white women can get away with pretty much anything in this country, especially if they're sweet-looking. And I'll say middle-aged, maybe the upper end of middle-aged. I don't even know where you would cut middle-aged off at. I mean, some people would say maybe 65 is like way up there, because I think they have crimes that if you...
Is it when Social Security starts?
I don't know, because there are laws on the books in certain states that you injured someone over the age of 65, like physical battery or something like that against someone over the age of 65. So let's call it, it's an I don't know. It seems like a fair number, I suppose.
35
but 65
to 65.
Technically, middle age is 39.
Yeah, yes. No, I know.
But I don't feel middle age.
Well,
so
39,
I would say like 45 to 55.
I actually, 39, 39, 78 is what is the average life expectancy?
Lifespan,
Is 78. Yeah, I am a big fan
You're
of
on the downside of that hill.
Yes, I am. I definitely am. I think the guy's name is Jesse Eitzner. I think he's married to the woman who owns Spanx. They've been married for a long, long time. He does something where he
Nicole Blakely.
Yes, Nicole Blakely. He has an entire calendar where he lays out his entire year, because he goes, look, I know he's in his mid-50s. He goes, the average life expectancy is 78. How many more summers do I have on this planet? And I love summer. And he packs his year full of shit.
Good.
Yeah, it's a great way to if you start to think that way. If somebody said to you, like, there's biologists who can tell you how long by looking at your blood within a month of when you're going to die.
No.
Yes. And they're mortality experts, and they're usually hired by insurance companies. So they don't tell you, but the insurance company knows whether this person's a good gamble or a bad gamble. Good gamble is you're going to pay me for the next 50 years. Bad gamble is you're only going to pay me for the next 10 years.
Well, according to Danny, we call Dr. Trotter or Dr. Max and find out how long we're going to live. Because didn't he say the night the dentist can tell you you're going to die soon?
Or something. It can tell
some
something
natural
in your
causes,
mouth.
though.
Yeah, but
Because
this is from your blood. Like, they can look and really see.
Like, I'm a super healthy person, and I
You
feel
think
like,
so?
Yes, in general. But I also am risky. So I feel like I'm more likely
Well,
to
I think they're
die.
talking from a health perspective,
Okay.
right? Insurance is going to go by a health perspective, although they will say, like, if you're a pilot, if you are in flight school, or it's your hobby, you're Anthony Daniele and you're flying to see your kid in Boston in your own plane, that's a single engine, that may do something to your health insurance.
Okay.
I don't really
I know pilots, I know Navy pilots and stuff like that they shrink over the course of time with the amount of G's they hit. I was talking to one of the hockey dads about this. He's like, yeah, you go in at 5'6", and sometimes you come out at 5'3", because it's just all the force on your body flying.
Damn.
That's insane.
I wonder if that happens to a lesser degree to race car drivers.
Good.
I mean, that's an interesting think about that. Like, guys who are, I would love to see Kevin Harvick when he started. and Kevin Harvick 20 years later.
Maybe
when
he
he's retired.
can do one of those measuring things at his new house.
Yes.
Use the real door, now he can use the doggy door. What are you getting at?
You know, no, I'm just saying, like, it would be interesting to see, because there is something about flying at those kind of
You
speeds.
should leave Randy a message.
Randy?
Leave Randy a voicemail. He'll tell you.
Racing Randy. I mean, I love Racing Randy, but Yeah, I question why I need to know about all these things.
I love Ray. I gotta be.
Bill, it's Randy. Give me a call when you get to say. I'm sorry to tell you. I think you're going to get a big kick out. It's going to make you laugh. Bye.
Bye. And then, okay, so I'm cool.
You want to blow his? You want to blow his mind? Let him know that I think they're thinking about making Days of Thunder too.
I can.
What?
I with Tom Cruise?
I believe so.
Yeah, I believe.
I
that
bet
too.
Nicole Kidman's not going to be on that one.
I don't know. She still looks good.
She still looks great, but considering they met on Days of Thunder and now
Oh God, yeah, that's a good point. I forgot about
Yeah,
that.
but money's green sometimes, you know. At the end of the day.
All right, so middle-aged white women don't look like.
Why are you pointing at me? I've been
Like Kevin. No, middle-aged white women that look like Kevin can get away with anything.
Hell
Middle-aged
yeah.
white women that look like Tom Cruise's ex-wife. No.
Oh, I would.
Nicole
bet-
Kidman? No.
Oh, Nicole could get away with anything.
I don't know about that
Oh,
because I think
bullshit.
she stands out.
No,
She stands out. This is a story, and I kind of liked it because I went,
laughed.
yeah, this is something that I thought, wow, this is pretty unique.
An accused wedding crasher strikes again. We told you about Sandra Henson back in 2021.
Why do you stop? Why did you put your hand up?
Because my mom tried to crash a wedding this weekend when I was in Savannah.
Your mom tried to.
My mom tried to crash a wedding.
Yes, but this gets
And
deeper.
okay, yes. So I was in Savannah for my mom's 70th. That last night that we were there, we started drinking at 3 p.m. We are walking through a hotel, and my mom decides
White
in
girl
her
listed.
pink Patagonia jacket to walk into a wedding that was full of Black people and decide to go up to the bride and tell her she looked like a princess. Now, during this day, I was texting my friend John, Black guy, and I was like, John, my mom just walked into a fucking wedding. And he's like, Black people parties are fun. I'm like, bitch was in a Patagonia jacket. She's 70.
You got to go to Bill's socials to see this woman. She's exactly what
When
you think
Marshall
she
County
is.
police caught her on surveillance video stealing gifts and envelopes from a stranger's wedding. And then tonight, police say she is at it again. WRG's Ashley Paul joins us now live in studio with details on the latest arrest.
Now, here's my point. A middle-aged white woman dressed as she would go. This woman happens to be 57, so we'll say that upper end of middle age, if we're going to give it a couple decade span. You can walk in to anybody, your so-and-so's aunt.
Yep.
No one knows. We're confused. You walk in, and you don't get greedy. You just take, I don't know, $200 cash.
Couple envelopes.
Nope.
Couple envelopes. Right.
Maybe a blender.
You start to get suspicious when all of a sudden you get cashmere sheets for your birthday and you get some kind of waffle iron for Christmas.
The shit she didn't want.
Ashley?
Greg, not only is this woman accused of crashing weddings, but she's accused of cashing in on them. The latest happening in Pontotoc County. At least 4 years, 3 states, and countless weddings. Sandra Lynn Henson is facing charges once again.
We was able to identify this woman and actually watched her remove the property from the gift tables, which is very sad. I mean, that's real sad, you know.
It's not really sad because, by the way, you don't know what you're getting. Would you know, you got married, would you have known if all of a sudden like an espresso maker was missing?
No.
No.
But I would have marked them down that like
no, but I
my
mean,
aunt didn't give me a fucking gift.
Oh.
And then it would have like registered.
But then
as
you
I'm
got that
sending
one.
the
But you got that
thank
1 year.
yous- Yeah. Oh, come on.
Yeah, you
I'm
do have a year.
organized. I send it.
Oh, we got to talk to Deputy Hurley and find out what prompted them to videotape this wedding, or was it just something
I know, I think this
Were
is-
they like
from the
cautious
when I say
about this
surveillance,
woman?
this is like, you know, a hallway camera at the venue.
This interview was back in 2021. Major Kelly McMillan with the Marshall County Sheriff's Office explained Henson was caught on video stealing envelopes and gifts during a wedding she was not invited to.
Makes me question, how about weddings she was invited to?
Could you imagine the drunk aunt that see her doing this and is trying to convince everybody
else.
when she's hammered? I'm telling you, I saw it. This is my song.
We reported then this wasn't the first time Henson faced these accusations, with similar cases in Alabama and Tennessee.
So she's gone multiple states. Now, this is the thing that I'm wondering. How is she finding the weddings? Because it used to be that your wedding announcement was in the newspaper. I don't know that people are doing that anymore.
That's afterwards.
Go to a hotel on a Saturday night.
Just go to any
or
Go
a
to
party
the-
house.
I mean, yeah.
or a party house.
Because she's hitting multiple states, and I thought, I wonder if she's finding it through social media, but that would mean she's friends with someone who was invited to the wedding.
I'm wondering if she does it when she travels out of town.
There's
so she doesn't run into people that she knows.
So many weddings.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Any nice hotel on a
You
Saturday
think
night.
like a criminal. You think like a middle-aged.
There's been so many hockey tournaments we've been to
I
where
have
there's
one
a
more year
wedding
to be
going on.
middle-aged.
There's a wedding going on at a hockey tournament, and
Yeah.
we just pray to God the boys are not stupid and trying to wander through it. But there's been many times where it's just like, oh dear,
Yeah.
this is not good for this wedding.
Tonight, we learned this also wasn't her last.
It seems to be an ongoing thing, maybe an addiction or something that she just feels like that nobody will ever catch on to.
No one probably would have caught on, except that somebody. Now, you got to hear they interview a groom.
Pontotoc County deputies took to Facebook announcing Henson has been arrested once again. According to the Post, Henson was wanted in Alabama when she was arrested at another wedding in Pontotoc County. A groom who was a victim years ago says he can't believe this is still happening.
We're angry that she's still doing it. It's very disappointing that she's still doing such a heinous thing. You know, this is supposed to be one of our happiest days, and
How the fuck is this going to ruin your happiest day? Some
you don't
bitch
even
stole
know
your
until-
waffle iron. You didn't even know it.
Here's my question.
How many people even give gifts at weddings anymore? Everyone just brings an envelope with money.
That's a good point.
Here's my question.
I haven't been to a wedding, and
Does
most
she-
of my friends all got married right 20 years ago. So
Does she take more if it's not an open bar? Let the
She's
shooter
taking
cover her
advantage of
losses?
Thankfully, though, the victims say while Henson may have stolen their gifts, she can't steal their joy or their happiness. Now, Henson is
can't steal their joy or their happiness, but she can steal their
But the woman
ruffled
can 5 years
dinnerware
from now.
set.
facing charges including larceny, trespassing, and disturbing the
Randy
peace.
word.
Greg, Steph.
All right, there you go.
I crashed a wedding rehearsal last year, but like not even planned. I was in Breckenridge.
drunk?
Okay, no, I was in Breckenridge hiking,
Yeah.
and I went to a bar and went up to the bar, ordered a drink for me and my girlfriends that I was with, and they're like, "Are you with the wedding party?"
And you said
Sure
yes.
as fuck am.
Wow. How rude.
I know.
How
And left no tip.
How rude. Now, have you ever had a middle-aged relative accused of a crime? Anybody have a relative that was? Oh, I
Not
see it
like
over there.
accused of a crime, but I
Like
would say
An aunt for embezzlement or something?
no. My mom.
What?
No, like okay, not a crime, but my mom.
It's not a
one of
crime
my
for a
first
white person
time-
to go to a black person's wedding. Or
Yeah,
maybe to
yeah,
crash
okay.
it, but
Her stepdad's 26.
She was fantastic on Saturday. My mom doesn't drink much, and I was, yeah, that was fun. But I remember one of my youngest memories from like high school is my mom got pulled over for speeding. She speeds a lot. And the cop pulls her over, and my mom bats her lashes and leans over and unbuckled my seatbelt and was like, "Are you sure you just don't want to give me a citation for like my daughter not wearing her seatbelt?" And he did. She has always told me to talk my way out of a ticket.
too? Did she get the ticket too, or just the seatbelt?
No.
have you ever talked your way out of a ticket?
Absolutely.
Bullshit.
No, I have.
You've talked your way out of a ticket?
Mm-hmm.
Really? What?
Yep.
What did you say? What were you pulled over
okay,
for?
so I was pulled over for going through a stop sign,
Okay.
and
Typical blonde move.
and I'm a natural blonde, so
Okay.
you know. Cop pulled me over, and he saw my Fredonia State sticker on the back of my car.
Over too.
Shut up. And he went to Fredonia State too. So
Oh, well, that's nothing. That's just
He's,
called
Oh.
luck.
he's flirting.
That's called
yeah,
luck.
no, I have 100% flirted to get out of trouble. Why not?
Yeah, I guess if it works. I don't know.
Do you get pissed off if it doesn't work?
No, because I love accountability.
Yeah. It's a tough thing. You gotta. It's a
You gotta
judgment
try.
call. It's a judgment call for the cop as well, right? Because they got to go, all right, this person is probably not going to do it again. I can see if you had a list of priors and there was a pattern of you doing this kind of stuff, they would probably give you a ticket.
It's not that like I commit crimes and get out of them, but I use okay, listen.
You know, like
I
we
use
said,
the-
middle-aged white women get away with everything in this country.
I use the
Just
cute,
ask Earl.
No, I use the cute white girl advantage to get things.
Cute white girl advantage.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's how I met Greg.
bold
is
statement.
because I crashed the Bills party when I was in London.
You crashed the Bills party in London.
For VIP people.
You weren't. Oh, you
She
were
was a
not
Jaguars
invited.
fan until about 3 weeks ago.
No, you were not invited.
No, I was not invited to the party that he was at.
Okay.
And I just talked to one of the bouncers and ended up getting upstairs.
Okay. All right. And so then you're upstairs, and then all right. Then
And Greg was like, "Okay, you paid your, cute girl tax or whatever." He said,
what?
because that's how I used
Oh, got in.
flirting with the bouncer.
Greg might have been into the Grey Goose at that point.
All right. Well, that makes sense. That makes sense. That makes sense. And then that's parlayed into you being here
Yeah.
because Kevin kept saying, "All right, okay."
Yep.
Now it all makes sense.
Mhm.
I got it. I see how it all works. It's awesome.
Why are you pinning it on me? What the fuck?
I'm just saying it's
What the fuck?
It's a white girl thing.
I'm not ashamed to admit
It's a white girl
that you
thing.
get a little bit of privilege.
By the way, I don't know if anybody's seen this on TikTok or not, but there's somebody on there that's claiming to be a time traveler.
Oh,
But they're not posting themselves. They're just posting different things. They're called Radiant Time Traveler. Eno Arlick is the person's name. They have 658.4 thousand followers and 3.7 million likes.
Okay.
They claim that they are from the year 2671. 2671.
That's
2000.
What are we in 2020?
The problems apparently start later this month.
Uh-oh.
In 2023 and 2024, in his time, become known as the worst years in recorded history for weather. 2023 and 2024.
They are saying there's a storm in the Caribbean that's going to bring some serious rain to the States.
Okay. November 30th, 2023. Massive flooding destroys almost all of
There it
Honolulu. Honolulu.
Oh, maybe Honolulu, Caribbean, Cuba, same thing.
This is what the Radiant Time Traveler is saying. December 19th, 2023, a new kind of storm is created when lightning and a hailstorm mix. December 19th.
Isn't that called thunder snow?
I don't.
Ooh, good
Well,
point.
but I
Does
never
it say
heard of
where
with
it's
hail.
going to hit?
No.
Buffalo.
The largest blizzard in recorded history slams northern United States with 130 inches of snow in 8 days, January 2nd, 2024.
Yeah, but northern United States is anything from like Kansas north.
Wyoming.
Yeah. Oregon, Michigan.
January 29th, 2024.
Oh, right on my birthday.
A very extreme heat wave sees many Category 5 and 6 hurricanes form, affecting the U.S., Mexico, and South America.
So it's going to be nice around my birthday. I'm like Placid. All right.
February 17th, 2024, the first ever F6 tornado touches down in Houston and is 17 miles wide. This sounds like...
That ruins Valentine's Day weekend right there, doesn't it?
No, it's
No,
after
it's
Valentine's
after.
Day.
It's after Valentine's.
Yeah, but it's that weekend after.
Well, it's going to suck either way.
100%.
March 20th, 2024, a mile-high dust storm occurs in the mid-eastern United States, lasting for months from Missouri to North Carolina. That can't be.
States we don't care about.
And then April 2nd, 2024, a massive earthquake called Big John shakes up the San Andreas Fault and makes ruins out of San Francisco and Los Angeles, and a mega tsunami comes afterward to finish the job.
I saw that movie. It's with The Rock.
This is just entertainment.
That's what I would think.
Yeah.
It says,
What if it all hits?
Is there
What if it all hits?
Has he predicted anything before this date that's actually happened?
not that I can see.
Okay.
When was the blizzard?
The blizzard was going to come January 2nd.
And then the heat wave was coming the 29th.
The 29th, but down more south.
Yeah.
More south. In the Caribbean. Right.
Oh, okay. So we're going to get that flooding
October 2023. Yeah. Yes, I am a real-time traveler. These are major things that will come. October 3rd, an alien ship falls to Earth containing life and materials unknown to mankind. Well, that didn't happen.
I was going to say.
The alien on the ship.
How do you know?
We wouldn't know.
Space Force.
That happened.
Escapes. Let me go back here a second. It says the alien on this ship escapes before anyone can catch it. It soon begins to wreak havoc on cities. This is all. Somebody's laughing.
I've seen Men in Black.
The James Webb Telescope discovers a giant alien creature eating stars.
I want to know what drugs this guy is on.
Oh, probably one that
10 milligram gummies.
I was going to say acid.
Standard 10.
No,
A
more
human-like
than 10.
species is found inside of Mount Everest. They want to control us.
Inside of Mount Everest.
Yeah. They are telepathic shapeshifters and will do anything to gain control. They have already infiltrated governments. Okay, it's Biden. No, I don't. I don't know.
Wow.
I don't know. Anyway, you can go look for yourself. It is the Radiant Time Traveler on TikTok if you're on there.
Well, he used the pronouns they, so, at least he is transgender fluid.
Well, I don't know if it's transgender fluid or they're just meaning the collective group they. I don't know. What do you think they're actually transgender fluid?
We'll give Earl the joke.
We'll give Earl the joke.
Yeti's transgender in the mountains in the Everest there.
All right, we will we'll wrap it up for tonight. Let me see. I don't think I have my music, and there it is.
Hi, John.
Yeah, John Hyatt. Kevin got me the Tennessee plates right there.
Sure did.
John Hyatt right behind. For Laura, thanks for coming in. Last minute. Kevin pulling her off the bench. For Kevin Muir, I'm Bill Moran. We'll see you tomorrow.
Woke up in the hotel, didn't know what to do. I turned the TV on and wrote a letter to you. The news was